Jai Hind and welcome to the next lecture. In today's lecture, the topic which we have taken up is building an engaging introduction and setting the tone for audience engagement. So, when we meet someone for the first time, we introduce ourselves and they say the first impressions last forever. Even if they don't last forever, they last for a long time, right? If not for a lifetime, but for a long time for sure. So, having a strong introduction, hence, is very, very important. It is your chance to make a lasting impression, to spark interest, and also to guide the audience through what message you are wanting to convey to them with clarity and also while keeping their interest alive. It's like opening the door to a meaningful, impactful communication. So let's move on. It captures the audience attention. That's why it's important. It sets the tone for interaction. It sets the stage for the interaction which is waiting ahead. Then provides context and purpose. It is just not vague. It is there for a reason and in a particular context. It is rightfully being provided there. Establishes a connection with the audience because that's the first time you are interacting with them. It builds confidence for the speaker as well. So, moving forward, it captures the audience attention, as I've just briefly touched upon. Why? Because this is the first time you are talking to them, correct? The first few moments of any interaction with the audience decides whether they are going to stay with you or they are going to totally leave you and tune out. So it's very important that you keep their attention alive. Then a strong introduction immediately grabs their attention and makes them curious to know more. They get interested in what you have got for them in your kitty. So there are two opening statements here for you to see. The first one is very dull and mundane. It's like today I'll talk about communication, which is usually a standard opening statement. There's no great thing attached to it. So, but a strong one around the same topic can bring more interest from the audience side. That can be, did you know that 70% of communication success depends on how you start? So this immediately the fact is bringing the audience get interested into what you have in store for them. Moving on. Context and purpose. In the second slide, I had just mentioned briefly about it. So context and purpose. A strong introduction would help the audience understand what to expect from the speaker, and hence they make your message more structured and accessible. That is your responsibility. Okay, that because what they're looking forward is that they will get certain information on a particular topic. So make sure that you have more accessible and you make your message more structured. I am here to share practical techniques with you, which you can use to make your presentations more memorable. So you can even start your presentation about how to make a presentation look really impactful by using a sentence like this. Sets the tone. A tone is the base, it decides whether people are going to stay linked with you or they're just going to lose interest in what you are offering them. A bland tone, dull or a bored tone, flat tone would not keep them engrossed for much longer, no matter how good your content is. So make sure that your tone is good. It should not come out as a very aggressive or harsh tone, because that also would cut the interest out, make it big zero. So the tone you establish for your introduction definitely influences, has an impact on how the audience are going to perceive your message, how they're going to interpret, decode what information you're wanting to give them. A professional tone builds credibility, a factor of trust in your audience, that why should they trust you? Whereas a friendly tone will foster more relatability. They'll relate to you because your tone is more friendly. So it depends on you and the scenario in which you are dealing with your audience, that which tone you must pick up. A formal tone can be good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today as we discuss. So this is how someone, in a professional setting can start off. Whereas in an informal arena, one can use, "Hey everyone, I'm so glad you are here today." So this shows that, you're more relaxed. So the kind of tone you use creates an impact. Remember that. So establish a connection with the audience. Very important, because your audience are the ones you're wanting a link with. It's something you're wanting to bridge the gap with, the people you're wanting to interact with. So it's very important for you to build that connect with your audience. So a good introduction, it will bring you much closer, bridge the gap that exists between you and your audience. So it will definitely spark their interest and make the interaction with you as a speaker and audience, they'll feel more personal and engaging an interaction if you will build that connect with them. All right. Sharing a relatable story or experience can be a good idea here. So you can just start, to build more of connect, that there should be something, that they can connect to very easily. That can be with a story or a past event you can narrate. When I started learning public speaking, I struggled with introductions. I now know how to deal with it, or you can say, I know how intimidating it was back then. So what you're doing, you're just telling them that when you were in the beginner's phase, you've also found, like them, that public speaking was a big challenge and you struggled with how to frame the introductions. So you exactly know how intimidating, how difficult it was or it can be. So now what's happening? You are connecting yourself with the audience who might also be dealing with a fear or anxiety of a similar sort. So then builds confidence for the speaker. Yes, a good introduction. If my first step is good, I'll be more confident. I'll know, oh wow, the base is made already. Now I have to go higher from here. So if the base is wobbly, the structure can never be strong. So it is like the base you create for the speaker, it's the base. Excuse me. Starting with the clear and well-prepared introduction helps the speaker feel more in control of the topic, sets a positive momentum for the rest of the interaction with the audience. The key elements of engaging introduction are hook. Hook is what? This is a very nice opening statement. It can be made very interesting. You can just start with a surprising fact, just by a short story, a question to grab their attention, something very interesting, surprising. Then the purpose. There should be clarity in your introduction. Okay, it just should not be one vague introduction that you're talking about conflicts, but you're quoting the example of a bed. So there has to be a match. So the introduction, what you have, should have a purpose. It should clearly state the goal or the message that you want to deliver. Then connect. It is very important for the audience to relate to what you are wanting to present to them. Okay, and you can easily take that thing into your control by providing them with the shared experience as we had just talked about, or you can just crack a joke or create some humor, because that's a very beautiful vibe for everyone to fine tune into. So next, a hook or a strong statement. What is a hook or a strong statement? It is a very strong opening statement which grabs immediate interest of the attention of your audience right away. Okay, they get emotionally engrossed into what you have to offer. So for that, you can just state a surprising fact or even ask rhetorical questions. Now, what are rhetorical questions? These are related questions, questions related to the topic you are going to be attending on to. So surprising fact can be, did you know 70% of the communication is non-verbal? It is through our body language, it's through our eyes, our gestures we make, our, all these tones and all. So you can just start phrasing a line like that. That can be your hook or the opening statement. And rhetorical questions can be, have you ever wondered why some people seem to have a natural charm? So it's a question which is related to the topic, but you're throwing it at the audience, right? Excuse me. Then I had also mentioned personal story. So you can just relate a little personal example and start off that can also be your hook or the opening statement. But some people are not very comfortable with sharing their personal stories or incidences, though it doesn't cause much discomfort or anything, but it's a personal choice. So you can want, if you want, you can use a personal story and just share a little example. Like, when I started public speaking, I was terrified of the audience, but now I just love it. So now you've already told that, well, you were scared initially, but now you've mastered the skill. So that's why you are here, to help them also master the skill. So from your personal incident or patch in life, you've narrated something which they can relate to now and look forward to achieving the same. Or you can stay safe, play very, very safe, and come up from the quotations and use a quotation that was made by a prominent world personality, international or even any personality for that matter you look up to. It can be your national leaders, any prominent personality for that matter. So for here as an example, what I've got is, as Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what you said. And it's so true. People will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So with a statement like this, a quotation like this, you are imbibing their interest into your conversation, you are engaging them, and you are telling them to focus on what you have in store for them. So the purpose or the goal has to be clarified very, very concisely and precisely to them. Okay, it should not be vague. So people should know it. They should know once they listen to your introduction that what they will be listening, what they are expected to take, what is going to be your message. It should be like a blueprint given to them. Okay. So it's, the example is, today I'm going to show how small changes in the communication can help you achieve big results in your personal and professional life. So here I've already told you that what is the purpose of my introduction and the topic which I am taking up, that yes, the challenges are there in the communication, but with little bit of changes, how you can fine tune those. Next, we move on now to relating to the audience. So when you relate something with someone, you feel that the connect is becoming stronger. So same way, when you can relate with the audience, any particular thing, any particular fact, any particular incident from the past, if they can relate to you when you mention it, so that a bond is made much stronger and the impact for sure is going to be much higher. So how do we relate? A common ground. Okay, like many of you, I struggle with overcoming the fear of speaking in public. So it's a common ground. Ki yes, you also had this fear. Many of you are having this fear. I also had it in past. So that's one common fear. Then shared interests. So you also want to overcome this. I also wanted to overcome this. So my goal is also this and your goal is also this. So shared interest. We all know how important effective communication is in both our personal and professional lives. You also know and I also know. So there's a shared interest there, correct? So apathy. Apathy goes missing in today's scenario for some reason. It's very important. So what is apathy? You must feel what the other person is going through, and that should reflect in your conversation. So when you are doing your introduction, a strong introduction, you can, empathize with the audience by saying, I understand that learning something new can be challenging, but it can also be incredibly rewarding. I understand it is challenging, it is not easy, but for sure it can be very rewarding once you achieve that. So now we move on to clear structure. So outline the main points. So bring across the main points. Your introduction has to have certain key pointers which will work as a roadmap for your audience, for them to know, okay, fine, today the main points which will be covered are these, what they should be looking forward to. So the example makes it more clear now. In the next 15 minutes, I'll cover 3 essential communication strategies that will change the way you connect with others. And what are those? Those are listening actively, asking the right questions, and building rapport. So with this, I have given them a roadmap, a blueprint of what I'm going to be dealing today with. So tone plays a very important role. How you put across something, what is your tone, your message can be interpreted well because your tone is correct, or it can create a lot of misunderstandings. So stay away from all the misunderstandings and maintain a good tone when you are interacting with your audience. Your tone must match up to the content of the message which you want to deliver. It should be appropriate as per the setting and the situation you find yourself in. So what can that be? Those can be your formal settings where you are in the office or you're in a college or any professional setup. So the tone should be professional, confident, crisp, but very polite. And in informal settings, it can be friendly and approachable. And in cultural sensitivity is one factor you have to keep in mind. We meet people these days with world becoming so smaller, with so much of travel at ease available to us. We interact on daily basis, even at work, with people across borders. So it is very important we don't know a lot of aspects of their culture. To play it safe, maintain neutral or professional tones when you are dealing with them. Adapt tone based on cultural expectations. So don't cross that line. Don't hurt the sentiments of others. So formal tone, a professional in an academic settings, you would always use that. So one example can be, I am honored to share these insights with you today. Or you can start the opening message with, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me today, or thank you for this opportunity. I am honored to share these insights with you today. So that's a very formal way of opening or introducing. Then a casual tone in a friendly and in an informal setting you can use for, hey everyone, thanks for being here. I'm really excited to talk to you all about whatever is the little conversation you want to talk. Or here, I'll read it once again so that it gives us more insight as to how the informal tone works. Hey everyone, thanks for being here. I'm really excited to talk to you about something that can make a big difference in how we communicate. Now, when I'm reading this, can you see my tone? So you have to keep your intonation and your tone in check, whether you are in personal or you are in informal or formal settings. Then enthusiastic tone. This shows my excitement, enthusiasm. So it can be, are you ready to take your speaking skills to the next level? Let's dive right in. That shows the level of excitement that the speaker has. Credibility is the bond of trust which you need to maintain with your audience when you are standing on the podium as a speaker. So it is very important for them to know that you are the right person to talk on the topic. And how would they know you are the right person? With your experience that you have. With that experience, you are talking what you are making the points around. So it's very important. And how do you do that? You can cite a personal experience for credibility and tell them that you are the right person to seek advice or information on the said topic by saying, as someone who has worked with hundreds of people on their public speaking skills, I have seen this firsthand, how small changes lead to big improvements. So in this, what you've tried to tell them that you have years of experience, and in those years you've not just dealt with 10-20 people, you've dealt well with some 100 odd people. So you have a lot of experience to deliver a talk on a topic like this. You're just not talking out of your hat. So professional expertise you can again enhance or focus on in your introduction, which will elevate the credibility factor. I have spent 10 years studying communication and helped companies improve their internal communication strategy. So you're telling the 10 long years what all was your work profile and how well you are prepared to handle the topic. So engaging questions and activities. So you have to keep the audience engaged. You can ask them a lot of questions to see how their interest lies in the conversation. Is it, something they're related to? And also you can have a lot of activities to keep them all engrossed with you. So keep them thinking, keep them reacting, keep them participating to keep the spark up. So you can say, how many of you have ever felt nervous speaking in front of a group? Now this is what, it's a question that you have given to them to think about, and then, they can participate. Then think about the last time you had a difficult conversation and what was the result. So these are the questions related to this topic, what I thought that I can ask my audience about. So you think accordingly what you'll ask your audience. So body language plays a great deal of role, so don't ignore it. So smile. A speaker like this will kill the entire conversation. It will not only take place, people will not look at you, people will not like to listen to you. So when you are standing at the podium, no matter how senior you are, I don't want you to he, but what I want you to do is smile, have that pleasantness on your face. So smile, make eye contact, maintain open postures. Okay? No. Then ask questions. Direct questions can be asked, related questions can be asked from the audience so that they get interested into the topic you want them to get engaged onto. Inclusive language. Instead of saying I thought, we use we for your team, for the audience. We are, to build that connection with the audience. Timing and pacing is very important for your introduction. Your introduction doesn't have to be too long. It'll go very boring. It doesn't have to be too short. It'll just not cover all the valid important points. So it has to be just precise. You can't make it very slow. Again, people would get bored of it. They are looking forward to more content than introduction itself, and they'll lose interest. And if it is too long, the same thing. Okay? But if it is too quick, again, it will not serve the purpose. They might skip. A few points will not register them. So make sure that it is paced well and it is timed also properly. Neither too long, nor too short, not too quick, not too slow either. So the summary is, a strong hook is needed, a clear purpose you must have in your introduction. There should be a connect between you and your audience. There should be a clear structure of outline with all the main points in the introduction. Those should be covered. Your tone must match the context, situation, and the message you want to deliver. Use your credibility to gain the audience trust. Engagement through questions and activities is a must. Proper pacing and timing to keep the introduction concise but impactful is mandatory. If you focus on all these points, these are the key elements. You can make your introductions go very engaging for your audience, impactful, and also set the stage for successful presentations and conversations for sure. We move on to word galore now. Enhance your vocabulary so that you can speak better. Credibility, we just covered. Building trust. So it's a quality of being trusted or believed in based on expertise and experience. So the little usage in context was, by sharing your personal experiences and qualifications in the introduction, you can build credibility and earn your audience trust, as I discussed with you. Next, resonate. Resonate means to get attracted or to agree to certain idea, to a strong emotional response, to evoke a strong emotional response or connection, often based on shared experience and ideas. The speaker's word resonated with the audience as they were able to relate to the challenges described in the introduction. I hope my words are resonating with you all today. Enthrall. To captivate or fascinate someone to the point of complete attention. So you must enthrall your audience. The opening story was so compelling that it enthralled the audience from the very first sentence, keeping them engaged throughout the presentation. So the home assignment, though optional, but highly recommended. Practice creating introductions to build more confidence. Record and review your introductions for more improvement. So it's a skill which you can polish and you can acquire greater proficiency in. With those words, thank you and Jai Hind for now.